Karen, γιατί διάλεξες την Κρήτη?
I'm not really sure that I chose Crete. I think Crete chose me. Um, there are a couple of things. One is that when I was young, when I was 14, I read My Brother Jack. Um, the characters went and lived on a Greek island, and that was like an epiphany. Like you could do that with your life. You could go and live on a Greek island. So at 14, I decided I would. Many years later, my husband Bruce and I were cycling in regional Victoria, and we came across this Greek taverna. They're plying us with raki and we're having a great conversation, and I happened to mention that one day we would go and live on a Greek island, and the owner had said, well, where? I said, I don't know where. And he said, I know where. And he called the waiter over and he said, if you could live anywhere in Greece, where would you go? And the waiter said, Luthro, Crete. And to be honest, I'm not even sure I knew Crete was a Greek island. So I go home, I Google it up, and I'm going, all right, we're going to Crete. So that's how it started. Yeah.
Και τι σημαίνει η Κρήτη για σένα?
Wow. Well, Crete means everything. Crete is heart, Crete is soul, Crete is inspiration. When I arrived in Crete, I'd had this idea for this novel, and my background is as a theatre maker. And then this idea started to grow, and I thought, it's not a play. It's going to be a novel. So I thought, all right, go and live on a Greek island for a year and write a novel, as you do. And when I got there, I discovered all about the Minoans, and I had no idea. I had no idea there was this matriarchal society that was the most advanced civilization in the Bronze Age. So all of a sudden, the ideas of my story just exploded. Really, it just fitted. I could not have written this book anywhere else but Crete. And then we'd always be going off walking, going for hikes, and I'd be going, Bruce, stop, because I had this inspiration, and I'd be going, sit on this rock is amazing, and all that sort of stuff. So Crete means everything to me in the sense that I guess I'm now a real Philhellene. I love Crete. I love its people, and I love the land, and the land is strong and honourable and authentic, and I'm lucky enough to feel that. Yeah, that's what Crete means to me.
Και πώς σου ήρθε η ιδέα να γράψεις αυτό το βιβλίο?
The idea came probably about 2 years before I moved to Crete, and I was really concerned. I'm a mother of 3 children, and my youngest is a young boy, not young now, he's 27. But I was really concerned because in Australia we had rising domestic violence rates of death and abuse, and I was questioning that my role as a mother, how could I ensure that the generation I was responsible for or accountable for, how could I ensure that my son grew up to be a good person? And they're the ideas that I grappled with. And as an artist, I find that if I grapple with ideas and I can't quite work it out, I like to put them into either a play or in this case, a novel. So the idea came on that idea of raising your sons to be good people. And from there, it grew. And admittedly, there was a part of this book that I struggled with because I was taking myth too literally, and I don't. In this case, it was not good to take it very literally. So I had to grow the book from this kernel of an idea, and then grow it back to find out how we got there, and then grow it forward to find resolution. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Πόσο χρόνο σου πήρε να γράψεις το βιβλίο σου και ποια ήταν η διαδικασία κατά τη διάρκεια της συγγραφής του βιβλίου?
Now I'm sitting here listening and you think, I understand this. I don't. But I do have the questions in English. So I'm just admitting that now.
So how long, that's okay. How long did it take to write the book, and what was the process?
It took a year, and that year was glorious, actually, absolutely fantastic. When we arrived, we had a lot of stuff to do in Hanya, And then we went to this beautiful little village called Ayurmeli, and we were about 50 metres from the beach. So I'd wake up with the goats coming down to be fed, and all their bells are ringing, and you'd wake up and the sun's coming up, and it was paradise. So I'd go down to the beach, 40, 50 metres. Initially I didn't swim, it was a bit too cold, but then once I did start to swim, I'd go out and do a bit of swimming, and then I'd come back and I'd meditate. Then I'd just write stream of conscious, and I'd just write whatever happened or whatever was going on, and I didn't edit, I just had fun with it. And then I was reading amazing books. I read a great book called When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone, and I wrote a really good book called The History and Origins of Consciousness by Eric Newman. So here I am on the beach bed, drinking my frappe, reading this sort of heavy duty book, but loving it. And then I'd be taking notes everywhere. And like I said before, we'd be hiking and I'd get this inspiration, or I'd be sitting on a rock and the land spoke to you, really. You just had to listen and do what you needed to do. So, the process was wonderful. And then after living in Ayurmeli for 3.5 months, we moved up to Skodalu, tiny little village with the Maranakas family, who are just absolutely beautiful. And there I was in this beautiful, beautiful Venetian restored house, and put it all together. And so bits I would find that I had no idea about, then I would just sort of start to work out where would it fit, and then I'd get another idea, or I'd Google something, or I'd research something and bring that in. So the process was basically just exploring and being open, not censoring at that time, and not editing. That came later. Yeah.
Και θα ήθελα να σε ρωτήσω ακόμα, από πού άντλησες την έμπνευσή σου και ποιες ήταν οι επιρροές σου για να γράψεις το βιβλίο αυτό?
Crete, the land itself was inspiration. And like I said, you just have to listen to it. But what I found incredible was that we discovered Nikos and Adonis Gelouris, and we would go down to Hania and listen to their music, and that was just wonderful. So we had a lot of their music and a lot of Cretan music that I'd be playing in the background while I was writing, and I was just so immersed in it. It was wonderful. Everything was just inspirational. Yeah.
Και η τελευταία ερώτηση, θα ήθελα να σε ρωτήσω ποιο είναι το μήνυμα που θέλεις να περάσεις μέσα από το βιβλίο σου?
Well, I guess looking at How You Raise Your Sons was one, and my character Cressida is struggling because she is pregnant, and no spoiler alert there. She's pregnant right at the beginning and has to work out what she wants to do, and does she then carry on her father's DNA and the violence that comes through the blood. And the message that comes through, I guess, is that we can learn a lot from our history. I certainly did with the Minoans, with the matriarchal society that offered so many answers to so many questions. But ultimately, I think I like my work to be transformational, and I'm not saying this is for everyone. And I like my work to have an integrity, but most of all, I'm an optimist, and my book carries hope. My work carries hope, because I guess that's who I am. Yeah. Is that it? I think that's a wrap. I'd like to say before we go that big thank you to Christos and Isaf. Oh, yeah. Here we go. A big thank you to Christos and Isaf for making all this possible. For all of you coming to the launch, that is just fantastic. And I really wish I could be there. I really do. Victoria's not in lockdown, but parts of Australia are at the moment, and our borders are closed. So it won't be at least till another year till we can sort of come and grace your shores. But I will come along, and when I do, I am more than happy to come and sign your book. Enjoy the night, and thank you.
Σε ευχαριστούμε πολύ για τη συνέντευξη και το πολύ όμορφο βιβλίο που έγραψες.
Thank you very much. Bye.